I would like to welcome you all for joining today, His Holiness Candramauli Maharaj's daily online class. Thank you all for joining. A very warm welcome to you, and my humble obeisances to you. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Maharaj, my humble obeisances to you. All glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Very well.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So,
Okay. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kridasyamoga Sankalpaham Ornanabhir Yatornute Tatata Visayam Dehi Manisham Mahi Madhava. O Master of all energies, please tell me philosophically all about them. You play like a spider that covers itself by its own energy, and your determination is infallible. Close the door because of the feedback from the other side here. O Master of all energies, please tell me philosophically all about them. You play like a spider that covers itself by its own energy, and your determination is infallible. By the inconceivable energy of the Lord, every creative element has its own potencies, known as the potency of the element, potency of knowledge, potency of different actions and reactions. By a combination of such potencies of the Lord, there is the manifestation of creation, maintenance, and annihilation. In due course of time, and by different agencies like Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar. Brahma creates, Vishnu maintains, and the Lord Shiva destroys. But all such agents and creative energies are manifestations, emanations of the Lord. And as such, there's nothing except the Lord or the one supreme source of different diversities. The exact example is the spider and the spider's web. The web is created by the spider, it is maintained by the spider, and as soon as the spider likes, the whole thing is wound up within the spider. The spider is covered within the web. If an insignificant spider is so powerful as to act according to its will, why can't the Supreme Being act by his supreme will in the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the cosmic manifestations? By the grace of the Lord, a devotee like Brahma, or one in this chain of disciplic succession, can understand the Almighty Personality eternally engaged in the transcendental pastimes in the region of different energies. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gyana Jana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Ayam Dadati Swam Padantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati. Warm order. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvasesa Sunyavadi Pastyatya De Satarne Vanchako Bhaktarubhischa Kripa Sindhupe Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there is the creator and the creation. There is the sun in this, there's the sunshine. So the energy of the sun is the sunshine. It's manifested everywhere. The sun is localized or in one place. Krishna, he manifests himself in the hearts of all living entities. Of course, he also manifested his personal form in the spiritual world, and he also manifests his personal form in the material world. So besides Krishna in his personal form, or the expansions of Krishna in his different manifestations in their personal forms, such as the incarnations, you have the energies of Krishna. And therefore, the whole existence, both spiritual and material, is simply a combination of these two things. Krishna, the personality, and his different energy. Parashya Shakta Virasayate Swabhavika Jnana Balakriya Cha. It's explained that Tasya, what is it? Tasyat Mahatma Vidyate. So the verse is from the Sweta Svatara Upanishad 6.8, which describes that whenever Krishna wants something to happen, he does it through his energies. As a person who is a big person, say an executive, if he wants the corporation to go on, he makes his phone calls to his, or sends his messages to his different secretaries and assistants, and they carry out everything for him. He doesn't personally do everything, but he uses his position because he's in control of everything around him through various medias, and then all of these other things act according to his will. But Krishna, the same way, he doesn't do anything, but at the same time, everything is happening by his will. And when he wants something to happen, of course, he also places his energies in an eternal feature of operation, such as this material world. He creates the three modes of material energy, and he injects within them the different qualities that make up that energy. And if he wants the energies to move in a certain way, he simply thinks, or he wills. He can even change the energies for working in the designed way that he initially did it. If he wants, as Srila Prabhupada made a very sweeping statement, he said, Krishna can change day into night, and he can change night into day. That means by his energies, he can change everything manifested into something different. He's all powerful. And part of being all powerful means he's in full control. He knows everything, both phenomenal and nominal. He knows everything in the spiritual world. He knows everything in the material world. His knowledge is complete. It's one of the features of his. It is called samvit. Samvit means by this energy called samvit, he knows everything. Nominal and phenomenal. Nominal and phenomenal. He also, by his other energies, the Sandhini energy, he creates everything. And by the Samvit energies, he makes everything move. And by the Ladini energy, he gives transcendental happiness through his different energies. Just like some people say there's some happiness in the material world. There is, but the happiness is just like a drop compared to the ocean of happiness that is there in the spiritual world. But still, there's a drop of happiness there. And of course, the quality of that happiness is not the same, but we call it happiness because it's a step up from the suffering that the conditioned souls normally undergo simply by living in this material world. And so that drop is also under his control. And that's, we might say, the happiness of material life. We call it, Maya Suk. Maya Suk. And so that happiness is, of course, illusionary, but it exists in some feature of giving some temporary relief to the suffering of material energy. So here, but there's a nice example using the spider. So if you use these examples to teach people how Krishna does things, they can understand things through the example. For instance, the spider, the web comes out of his body, and he designs the web the way he wants to and makes it in a very, what we say, symmetrical way. I've seen some big spider webs that are so big, they're the size of a half of a wall. You see them in forests, they're so huge. And that is only one spider, and he's created all of that. And at one time, if he wants, he can wind it up. So he's in full control of the web. And so this is the nature of something insignificant like as a spider, but still, it shows that the person who is the source of all existence, he manifests his energies directly and indirectly by his own will. As we use the example, as a person who, for instance, maybe a president wants to get in touch with some head of state on the local level. So he might catch his immediate secretaries to contact them, and then gradually the message gets through. But he does it indirectly through his other energy, but he can also do it directly if he wants to. So this is Krishna. He does things directly and indirectly. He can directly do everything, but for the sake of manifestation of the energies, just like a watchmaker can make up a watch, and he makes it so intricately, and he knows exactly how the watch works, and he can explain how it's working and how you use it. So Krishna is so all powerful that this gigantic cosmic manifestation, which is only an insignificant part of his creation, there are innumerable universes. Just like the comparison is made, just like a mustard seed in a bag of mustard seeds. How small is a mustard seed? If you drop one on the floor, you can't find it, so small. But if you had a whole bag of mustard seeds together, they're like thousands together. But even that is small compared to the universe. There's millions of universes. And he's controlling it all directly and indirectly through his different energies. Mostly he likes to do it indirectly. But when it comes to the spiritual aspect of his control, then he does that directly. Just like his material energies will work in a certain way. For instance, the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, the mode of ignorance. So the devotees who are in the world trying to struggle with the material energy and at the same time not be affected by it, they take shelter of Krishna. So by Krishna's other energy, they they get protection from his other energy. So the material energy is causing difficulty, but the devotee will take shelter of Krishna, and by Krishna's direct energy, the spiritual energy, he'll be free from the effects of that material energy. Both energies are Krishna's. One is working directly and one is working indirectly. For the materialist, Krishna doesn't deal with them directly. He deals only with them through the spiritual, through the material energy, like that. So therefore, they struggle with the material energy and try to manipulate it to make it work according to their desire in order to facilitate some kind of pleasure, some kind of material gain from it. But they stay within the boundaries of those energies. But a devotee, when they're engaged in devotional service, even if they're not fully purified, if they take shelter of Krishna, they are protected from the effects of the movements of the material energy. And Krishna, he is the controller of this material energy. So when the devotee wants to use the material energy to serve the Lord injects that intelligence into the person who is doing it. In other words, the person gets the intelligence directly or indirectly from the heart or from previous knowledge, and then they function successfully. And then that material energy is under the control of Krishna when the devotee is using the material energy to serve Krishna with, like that. And that's also in the principle of protection, too. We pray to the Lord for protection, but from what? From his own energy. He's creating this energy, or we can pray for protection against people who want to cause difficulty in your lives or some calamities. And those people are also Krishna's energy, material energy, but they're spiritual, actually. And so Krishna will protect you when you pray for protection from his own energies and from those who misuse his own energy to exploit others. So everything is happening by Krishna. So when you understand that, then as Krishna says, aham sarvasya prabhavo matat svarvam papartante iti mitva badante bam buddha bhava samanvitaha. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything comes from me. The wise who engage in devotional service worship me with all their hearts. So those who are not wise are foolish, and those who don't engage in devotional service fall into the category of foolishness because they don't know their own best interest. Therefore, even devotees will think that sometimes the material energy is important and we have to have control of the material energy in order to facilitate our life in this material world. So we make some attempt to make some control. But when we take shelter of Krishna, we find that he controls it and it works according to his arrangement. And if we're working according to the desire of the Lord, in other words, what is the desire of the Lord? That we engage in devotional service. So when we're working in that principle and we're working according to how we should work within that category of activity, such as there's ways to do everything, then we get both the knowledge and the results. That means the results is it becomes an offering to the Lord, and the devotee makes progress on devotional service, and the Lord is pleased like that. So, and in order to become expert in these things, we need to have strong sadhana. Strong sadhana means every day chant 16 rounds on beads without fail, and as early as possible, according to your arranged schedule. But if you can arrange your time for the early morning hours, which are conducive to the process of worship and pure devotion, then you maximize the effects of those activities. So, therefore, a devotee uses everything that Krishna gives them for the service of the Lord, and they find that each of the items that they use for Krishna becomes a source of their own pleasure also. If we use anything that we have in Krishna's service, it becomes a source of happiness for the user also, or for the devotee. And the devotee doesn't have to make extraneous endeavors to find happiness anywhere, because happiness is on the spiritual platform. There's no happiness. There's only some idea of happiness in the material world. Or we might say, as we had earlier mentioned, just a temporary relief from some suffering. Mm-hmm. So, Krishna, when you understand there's nothing outside of Krishna, and this particular chapter, we're on verse number 28. Within the next few days, we'll come to the nutshell verses, starting in verse 33, I believe it is. And those 4 verses, 33 through 36, are the essence of the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. And they encapsulate everything that is being explained here as Krishna is the source of everything, everything is under his control, and everything is meant for his enjoyment. Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka. Sarva, not just some lokas, but sarvaloka, all lokas. Sarvaloka maheshwaram, suhidam sarvadehinam, yantra sham yantra rishtate. If you know this particular verse, it's mentioned in the 5th chapter, verse number 29, the last verse in that chapter. If you know that verse, that's the first. And if you're living according to that verse, that is called the peace formula. You'll always be in a very peaceful condition, unagitated, undisturbed by the movements of the material energy. Okay, so these are some principles we can think about in terms of Krishna. And as it says here, his energies are inconceivable. They're not measurable by the conditioned souls, or even by the great souls. They're not measurable. And he creates the potencies by which the potencies carry out his creation. So where does that, in other words, the basic principles of the potency is his creation also. So when we really understand the nature of the absolute truth, we understand there's nothing but Krishna. That's all. And it's divided into 2 aspects: Krishna, the personality, and Krishna's energies. That's all there is. Nothing else exists out of those two principles. And then if you take it to an even more complete understanding, his energies, because they're coming from him, are non-different from him also. And therefore, there's nothing but Krishna, ultimately. And so, why waste time trying to find happiness somewhere else when it's easily available in the principle of Krishna? Everything is there. Find your happiness in Krishna. Everything about him is wonderful. As we mentioned, he has Sandini, Samvit, and Ladini energies, those 3. Sandini means by which he by which he maintains everything. Samvit means by which he controls everything. Uh, no, Samvit means by which he knows everything. Sandini means by which he creates and maintains everything. Uh, Samvit means by which he knows everything. And Ladini is his pleasure energy by which he gives pleasure to all those who connect with his spiritual energy. Okay, so Krishna is wonderful. There's nothing outside of him.
Thank,
Don't waste time trying to find happiness somewhere else. All you'll do is just become more unhappy.
thank you, Maharaj. So, dear devotees, you can open up for question and answers. You can ask your questions by raising your hands, like Srila Krish Prabhu has done. Thank you. Or you can put your query in the chat window and I can read it on your behalf if you're not able to do so. Also, a kind request, if you can turn on your cameras, if you are in a position to do so, that would help to make the session more interactive. Thank you.
Let's come on, camera people. Push that button. You can do it. There you go. We're getting there. Mayor, Anjali, Sringalila, don't be slow. Um, Revati, okay. Rasavilasini, she likes to dance, but she can also smile for us. Shranky, what happened? Anubhav, Bhakti Susanna. Okay, we got 29 people. No, we got 29 besides me online, so we're getting there. Okay, so Silpesh, fire away.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the assembled devotees. I pray you had a wonderful Janmashtami, Guru Maharaj. Whenever I'm challenged and I surrender to Krishna, like surrender to the process, like going to Janmashtami on Saturday, Krishna just works incredible miracles through his devotees. You know, just little miracles happen all along the way. And the happiness we all experienced was incredible. But then, like the next day, that conditioned mind takes over again and it starts doubting and it throws you backwards again. And there's this constant, in my life, there's this constant happening of this sort of little miracles when I surrendered and being thrown backwards, and then the next test and challenge comes along. Is this like something that should be expected in the path of devotional service?
Well, you're understanding and experiencing the power of when everyone comes together to glorify the Lord. It becomes a festival of spiritual experience, energies. So many wonderful things happen. That's why association with devotees is always the essence of everything. We think we can be just as Krishna conscious outside of the association as devotees, but we can't unless you're a pure devotee. And to get to become a pure devotee, take advantage of the association of Krishna of devotees. So one person asked me that during a class just when was it Saturday? I was giving class in New Rajadam in Hungary. They were saying the same thing after, after the festivals are over, the energy is not the same anymore. So he asked him, well, how do you keep it going? So I gave him the formula and I said, chant 64 rounds every day and you'll stay in that energy. So, I mean, if I said that to you, you would probably turn the camera off. So you want to stay in that energy, you have to stay with that energy. You come back to the material energy and you expect to have the same experience. You have to understand these energies are quite opposite. One is jada, which means dead, drags you down, and there's duality. The other one is not is absolute and is invested with the Ladini potency, the potency of pleasure. So you can't complain. Well, why isn't it there anymore? You're back in another energy. But therefore, to keep that other energy alive within you, you have to access that every minute, because when you're outside of the material energy, then it has no effect. But when you're inside it and you try to stay untouched by it or unaffected by it, you have to work harder. You have to make a supreme effort to make it happen. What becomes easy in the pure energy now is a struggle to maintain in being again associated with the material energy. So don't be surprised.
How do we maintain that in our household lives? Obviously, it's chanting, listening to kirtan, listening to classes, but is there anything else we can do?
Yeah, listening to class, chanting, reading the books, making plans to um, do some service in different ways, doing service. If your mind is busy in Krishna consciousness, you don't feel the negativity of this material energy. Even if it even, you know, let's see, Dinanath Gauranga, turn to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse number 20. I think it's a series of verses together. Kind of illustrates a nice point to show the power of the spiritual energy, even while you're in the material energy. Okay, it's yeah. So let's read the translation. That's all I'm going to read is just the translation. In the stage of perfection called trance or samadhi, one's mind is completely restrained from all mental material activities by practice of yoga. So by staying in this, by practicing bhakti yoga, your mind is restrained from the material mental activities. This perfection is characterized by one's ability to see the self by the pure mind and relish and rejoice in that self. In that joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness realized through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs upon the truth. Upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Here we go. Being situated in such a position, one is never shaken, even in the midst of the greatest difficulty. This indeed is actual freedom from all miseries arising from material contact. So are we free from all of the miseries that come by contacting the material energy? This is the formula right here. To be fully engaged in devotional service, body, mind, and senses. Body, mind, and yeah. So some people go to a holy place and live in that environment so they can get the full benefit of that spiritual energy. And it becomes easier. Just like if you go to a holy place, the energy is there. And it's easier to become Krishna conscious. It's easier to chant the holy name. But when you're in the mundane material energy, you have to make an effort. just to maintain what you already created in your practice of spiritual life. It's a struggle. It doesn't have to be a struggle, but in the beginning, it's like that. You have to remember to chant. You have to remember to worship. You have to remember to read the books. You have to remember to practice those qualities that are conducive to the execution of bhakti, the good qualities of the soul. So when we're outside of that energy, you can expect a different experience. It's like watching a very exciting movie and all of a sudden the movie stops. That's a mundane example. I just created that example. It's like, here's another one. It's like eating a big feast and someone comes along and just drops a bucket of water on your plate. That's a better one. So, yeah, so when you're in the spiritual energy, in association with devotees, especially celebrating the glories of the Lord, you're there. It could be like that all the time.
We need a festival every day, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, you got it. Prabhupada said, he also said that, he said, our movement is a festival every day. They have to either create it or somehow or other find it wherever it is happening. All right, so yeah, but make your home a temple, and that'll help bring that atmosphere forefront.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Is that all right?
Yes, very helpful.
Okay, Shiv.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Maharaj, in today's discussion lecture, you were making a point that the distress that even we experience is from material energy, and we pray to Krishna himself. And the material energy itself is part of Krishna, energy of Krishna. And we also have the same experience, Maharaj, in our life, that some of the children in the family go against the will of the parents, whereas some of the children cooperate and work for the welfare of the family. I just had this question, Maharaj. In Bhagavad Gita 7:14, and then how do we understand that when Krishna says material energy is also transcendental, Daivi, Hiesha Gunamai, Mama Maya? But we do speak that it's inferior, it's prison and things like that, Maharaj.
It's transcendental because it's coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is transcendental, pure spiritual energy. Nothing material can come from him. But how it's used, then if it's used in a different way that it's intended, it becomes material. A knife can use to be cut your food, could also be used by a surgeon to do an operation, which is beneficial, or it can be used by a thief to kill somebody. Same knife. How are you going to use the material energy? Use it in Krishna's service, it's Daivi. It becomes. If you use it for material activities, then it is, that's what it's, then it's part of the inferior energy. That's up to you. Krishna's given us the energy. Now, how are you going to use it? But then again, you have to take guidance from now, from Guru, from Shastra, from Krishna. So knowledge keeps you on the path. Ignorance means you're acting, but you're acting in the wrong way. So yeah, all this energy, as Krishna says, Daiviyesha gunamaya mamamaya dharatraya mameva yaye papadyante maya etam tarantite. It's Daivi, spiritual. Nothing material can come from God. How it's used, that's why it's seen as inferior or material. Prabhupada gives a perfect example. The electrician, he can control the electrical energy. So if he sets up the wires and puts it through a refrigerator, the electrical energy works as a cooling agent. If he sets up the wires and puts it through a heater, the same electrical energy will use as a heating. So you get opposite, heating and cooling, but the energy is the same. And the person, the electrician, he can manipulate the energies to make them work accordingly. And Krishna can manipulate those energies and work them according to how, but he makes the energies work in a certain way. And when we connect with that energy, according to how we connect, it works in a certain way. It brings us to Krishna, or it brings us away from Krishna. Same energy. You understand the example?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Very much.
It's clear.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. This is
Yoga Maya and Mahamaya are the same person.
Mm. Mm. Okay. Thank you so much. And
Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaja, please accept my sincere apologies. The internet dropped and I had to restart. So I'm back again.
Okay. Thank you. We have Anjali. She's next.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances unto your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you, Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, in the third chapter, 9th verse of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is saying, do your prescribed duty. Actually, I don't remember, I'll read it. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way, you will always remain free from bondage. So, Guru Maharaj here, Krishna, we know that Krishna was telling Arjun to fight. But how do we know that what is my prescribed duty, and how do I know what are the things which will satisfy Krishna?
Well, Guru, your prescribed duties are your day-to-day activities in this world. Your spiritual activities are called devotional service. That is learning how to use. Prabhupada said, what is it? Yagna sarva yoga. What is it? Yagya sarva yagnartha samayo yoga. Loko yam kama bandanaha. Tadartha kama kauntaya. Mukta sangha samachara. Yeah. So perform your duties for his satisfaction. So perform your material duties, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita in the 9th chapter, whatever you do, do it for me. So we have to take care of family members, or in some cases we have to work on the outside world to interact with the non-devotees, to learn how to spiritualize those. But what he's talking about is our material duties there. The spiritual duties, then you learn those, and you can also learn how your material duties will not interfere with your spiritual activities, and support your spiritual activities rather than bringing your spiritual activities down or making it more difficult. So that's a science you have to learn from the spiritual master. So you just ask the spiritual master, this is my situation. How can I best serve? How can I best use my material activities in the service of Krishna? Yeah, I think Krishna Prabhupada says in the purport to that verse, the science is learned despite the science is given by the spiritual master. He gives you the knowledge, he gives you the direction, he also gives you the understanding how to apply. If people don't ask them, then how can they get the proper knowledge?
So please direct me, Guru Maharaj.
Well, you're a mother, right?
No, Guru Maharaj.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
You're married?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Okay, so you have a duty as a wife, and so learn your duty in relationship to your husband and work together to practice Krishna consciousness. Like that, there is, they call it the duty of a housewife. That's also described in terms of how one can spiritualize their material activities. If you work by religious principles, following the four regulative principles, and following the general principles, how to maintain the body, not too much, not too little, the medium road, and work together along with your husband to practice Krishna consciousness. Practicing Krishna consciousness means to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, to hear the lectures, read the books about Krishna and devotional service, especially Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. Whenever take opportunities to go to the temple and worship the Lord in his deity form there. And take prasadam together with your husband, read Krishna book together, like that, chant together. That way you build your relationship based on spiritual characteristics or activities, and that makes the relationship free from difficulties, or what we say, unnecessary activities. So it's a whole science. There's books about Grihastha life. Devotees have published many books on Grihastha life. I would recommend one by my god sister Jagannath Ishwari. She's in London. Jagannath Ishwari, I think it's called the four, what is it called? Four what? Four duties of household life? Something like that. The four goals of family life.
Four goals of family life.
Yeah, the four goals of family life. Get that book. Mayur, he's just flashed that book on the screen there. So that's Jagannath Ishwari. You can look. You can probably go on Amazon and find the book. If not, you can contact somebody in London, and they can help you. You can contact Dinanath Gauranga. He's an ocean of spiritual knowledge. He knows where to go to find things.
I have that books. It's quite nice. Gives a lot of good directions.
I took that book and read it, what we say, scrutinizingly, and I took about 30 or 40 pages of notes on that book. I really got into it. I liked it a lot, and I found it very useful to help, people who are in that ashram.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
That's one. There's other books, but that's the one I know best. There's other books also. Yeah. And then, of course, on your spiritual side, then you just chant Hare Krishna 16 rounds. And read Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, take prasadam, like that. These are the spiritual activities. visit the temple, offer yourself to do some service whenever you have some time.
Thank you. Guru Maharaj, can I write to you personally?
I'm sorry,
Can
I couldn't do that.
Can I write letters to you personally?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Somebody can give you my email. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, Sri Devi.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. First, my apologies, Maharaj. My power was in and out, in and out. So I missed significant parts of the class. I'll listen to the recording. But my question is more along the lines, I think, of Shilpesh Prabhu's question, that how to maintain one's Krishna consciousness even when one is not well. Like right now, I'm sick. I have a bad head cold. My head doesn't work properly. I'm sniffing. I have to eat medicine. And then I make all kinds of mistakes which I wouldn't normally do, you know.
Well,
My
how's everybody? You think everybody who doesn't stay inside the temple is not Krishna conscious? You can be Krishna conscious in hell. If you remember Krishna and pray to Krishna, chant the holy names. What do you think the holy name is for? Just for the temple? Just chant. Chant. Why are you gonna dwell on your misery and say, "Oh, where's Krishna?" He's there. Just chant. And you might say, "Well, I'm chanting and nothing happening." Just keep chanting.
Yeah, I'm very sorry for all my mistakes, Guru Maharaj. Please forgive me.
To forgive you is one of my main services. so so that's something I'm fixed on.
I'm very sorry. I embarrassed myself and I just made so many mistakes. I'm really sorry about that.
Well, sorry means don't do it again. That's the point.
Yes,
If you
Guru Maharaj.
sorry, it means I'm going to correct it and make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yes,
But
Guru
we are what we say conditioned by habit, and we fall into the same pattern, and then we get the same result. Break your pattern, and then you'll get a different result.
Just one moment's inattention, forgetfulness can create so many problems. I did not wash my hands after touching a sick child and examining that baby. And that baby had a bad cold, running nose, everything. And today I've got the same thing.
Yeah, that happened to one very senior devotee who told me the same thing. He forgot to wash his hands just after one situation. Got sick. There's the hand washing committee. It's one of the biggest committees in the world now. They recommend you wash your hands at least 5 times a day, minimum. You always wash your hands before you take prasadam. That you should always do. And always wash your hands after you finish taking prasadam. When you're touching something impure, then make sure that there's some program for cleansing your hands also. It's like if you drop something on the floor, you pick it up, now your hand is dirty. You can't touch your beads, you can't touch anything sacred. So then you carry a little one of these things. I'll show you. I carry it. Everybody knows these things, right? And you just squirt it, and then you can keep your hands somewhat purified. When you touch the wrong thing, you touch your face sometimes. Prabhupada would be giving class, and he'd see devotees touching their face. He'd say, "Now wash your hands." Yeah, devotee is suchi.
You mean touching the face or touching the mouth?
Oh, touching their mouth or nose or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Gurudev, so sorry to interrupt. I just want to quickly add to that. If anyone is interested, as some of you may know, I work for the NHS, and there is a 5 to 6 hand movement wash you can do that will cleanse your hands perfectly, so you're not missing any areas. I practice it every day, and I do probably wash my hands like at least 10 to 20 times just because of the work I do. But those of you that would like to know how that's done, do contact me and I'll show you how it's done. It's very easy. I'm happy to even share an illustration on how that's done. It's very, very effective. You clean your hands all around, because the way conventionally you do them, you're actually missing vital parts of the hand. Hence, sometimes people say, I wash my hands and they still got sick. And there are ways, there's techniques.
Yeah.
It's about infection control.
I hope it's not any hand wipes, is it?
No, Gurudev, it's a simple hand wash, whatever hand wash you want, water, and you wash it in 6 movements. There are certain movements you do.
Okay. I'm going to be
Um,
contacting you and become one of your followers.
Please do, Gurudev. I'd be more than happy to share that knowledge. It's yeah, it's really important, hand washing. Yeah, especially when we're doing tea service or making prasadam. Yeah, really important.
Yeah, we're careless in that. You touch a doorknob. How many people touch the doorknob with their dirty hands? Then you go
Right.
touch. You know the story of Raghava Pandit? It's a nice one. Where is it at in the 15th chapter of Madhya Lila? Turn to that. It's a nice story.
Yes, Maharaj.
15th chapter, just to bring in a little Krishna Katha here. 15th chapter of Madhya Lila, verse number 80. Start with verse 80 of the 15th chapter. Okay, oh, I think you passed it up. Go back. Okay, keep going now. We go down a little far. So here it says every day he used to collect. He collects coconuts. This is with great endeavor from a place 20 miles away, and he pays 4 panas for each of them. Every day, 5 to 7 coconuts are clipped and put into water to keep cool. At the time of the offering of boga, the coconuts are again clipped and cleansed. After holes are made in them at the top, and they are offered to Krishna. Goes on, he says, the Lord Krishna drinks it, and then, okay, go down the page. I'm just describing. One day, number 79, it so happened that about 10 coconuts were properly clipped and brought by a servant to offer to the deities. When the coconuts were brought, there was little time to offer them because it was already late. The servant, holding the container of coconuts, remained standing at the door. Raghava Pandit then saw that the servant touched the ceiling above the door and then touched the coconuts with the same hand. Raghava Pandit then said, people are always coming and going through that door. The dust of their feet blows up and touches the ceiling. After touching the ceiling above the door, you have touched the coconuts. Now they are no longer fit to be offered to Krishna because they are contaminated. Such is the service of Raghava Pandit. He did not accept the coconuts, but threw them over the wall. His service is purely based on unalloyed love. It conquers the whole world. Yeah. So he went 20 miles to get these coconuts, made such great endeavor to prepare them from the offering. But when that the servant touched the door and then touched the coconut, that was it. Unofferable. And then it says he doesn't have a cleansing phobia. He's actually seeing what it means to be Suchi. So we touch the door, we touch the floor, we touch the banisters when we're going up and down. And, dust accumulates there. Sometimes people touch them with their dirty hands and you pick up that's on their hands. Germs are microscopic. You can't see these things. So rinse your hands regularly and keep a little bottle like I had with you to squirt your hands every once in a while, just to free yourself from, when you touch the door, or you touch the floor, or you touch something, and then you're about to touch something sacred, like your japa beads or a bhagavatam, like that. Okay, turn back to where we were. Yeah.
All right, there's a question from Amritanam. She's raised her hands. Do you want to go ahead, Mataji?
Okay.
Hey Krishna Guru Maharaj, my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Guru Maharaj, before asking my question, I would just like to show you this book I got from GEV. This says what it means to be a grihastha, and it is the compilation of all the quotes, no, not quotes, but the translations from Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, which talks about grihastha. So this is one book I read.
Just give your email, and then the devotees can contact you, and you can tell them how to get the book, right?
Yeah, sure, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah. So Anjali, there's an opportunity there. These devotees from GFE are their devotion is on the highest level. So if they put a book together on this, it's the best knowledge you could possibly find on the subject matter.
Sure, Guru Maharaj. Okay, so Guru Maharaj, my question was understanding about the concept of happiness and distress. Here, we have talked that we see that material world is dukhalayam ashashvatam. So the dukkha factor, the distress factor of distress is constant here. Am I understanding it correct, Guru Maharaj? Since the happiness is just like a drop, so is that the factor of distress is constant?
You have to understand real happiness is spiritual, and real happiness is found within yourself. If you're looking for happiness outside of yourself, you're finding something by connecting with the senses and the sense objects, and therefore you're getting what is called a dualistic thing, because whatever happiness you get from something external, it has a downside to it automatically, as a coin has two sides, heads and tails. So material contact with the material sense objects bring maybe some so-called happiness, but it also brings some suffering with it. It's like if you love someone and they're very dear to you, they give you some happiness, but in due course of time they die, and then where's your happiness? It's gone. And then you suffer. You have some money, it's giving you some happiness, and then all of a sudden you lose it. Now it creates you unhappiness. That's the way the material world works. It's dualistic.
So Guru Maharaj, the constant thing I observe here, I mean, in material world, that we try to get rid of our miseries. So we should not try that thing. Endeavors for this should not be done. Is it correct?
That's the verse in the Bhagavatam says that. You know the verse?
Yeah, 2.14. That
No,
one?
that's Gita. This is Srimad Bhagavatam 1:5-18. No, yeah, go ahead, turn to that verse. It's really a powerful verse.
Yes, Maharaj.
Pay attention to how it's worded so you understand the point.
Yes, Gumaraj.
Tasyaivo hetu pradate na kovito na labhyate ta brahmata uparyada. Na labhyate anya sukam, anya dukam, kalena sukam kambira ramhasa. Kalena sarvatra gambira. Yeah, okay. So that's the Sanskrit. Go to the verse. Go ahead, read it, Amrit.
Okay. Persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for the purposeful end which is not obtainable even by wandering from the topmost planet Brahmaloka down to the lowest planet Patala. As far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time, just as in course of time we obtain miseries even though we do not desire them. Okay.
Happiness will come, misery, and suffering will come. Don't worry about pushing back the suffering or trying to get the happiness. Just engage in devotional service. That's all, and you'll get above all of these dualities of material energy. From the material perspective, you're allotted so much material happiness, and you're allotted so much material distress. You can't change that. The only way you can change it is come to Krishna consciousness. That's all. Yeah. So it says we don't try for miseries, but they come. Well, so why try for happiness?
Okay, got it, Gunesh. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
I'll give you an example just to illustrate that point a little bit further. A person might be living in a very cold environment, and they think, it's miserable being here in this cold environment all the time. Let me go to a nice warm place. So they move to a place that is mostly tropical, it's mostly warm. So the misery of the cold is gone. But what happens is you're still allotted that so much misery according to your karma. So the misery will come in another form. You ride your bike and you'll fall off or something, or somebody will just do something that causes you some suffering. You can't get away from your karma unless you take the devotional service. Otherwise, you're destined to suffer and enjoy accordingly.
Right. So when we talk about this pattern of, in breaking the patterns in which we are, tangled up sometimes. So that is the same thing what you're talking right now. We have to take devotional service even to break those patterns.
Yeah, that's the only way you can do it. The other way is you try to readjust the material energy, but you can't because you move it one way, you move it another way. It just works the same way, but in a different form. That's all.
Right.
Yeah. Your energy, as Krishna says, Maya Daksha, it works under my control, not yours. When you try to play around with it, all you're doing is just getting your same karma in a different way. That's all.
Right, correct.
Yeah.
Yes, Gomesh. Thank you very much for the clarification.
Just practice Krishna consciousness and the material energy will fade.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Maharaj, in relation to this discussion, there's a query from Nrsingalila Mataji. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. Our glory to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, in connection to this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, sometimes we see that by using our intelligence, we avoid unnecessary miseries. Not everything is fixed karma. Is that correct?
That means, I mean, if you don't act right, you're going to create some difficulty for yourself, and you can't blame anyone or even your karma. If you're standing, you're thinking, all right, it's cold and rainy out, but I have to go to the store, but I'm too lazy to put on my raincoat. And you go out in the rain and you get sick, and you say, oh, what happened? I got my karma. No, you were so stupid you didn't put your raincoat on. I can tell the story when devotees were told by Prabhupada not to give this person who was trying to sell them a building. This was in New York in the early days. He said, don't give him any money unless you sign the contract. Then Prabhupada left from New York to Mr. Price, his name was. So Mr. Price, he was a real slick talker. He came up to the devotees and said, there's other buyers for the same property, but I like you Hare Krishnas. I want you to have this building. So if you can give me $5,000, I'll hold it for you as a down payment. Exactly what Prabhupada told him not to do. So they went ahead and gave $5,000. And then they called Prabhupada and they told him what happened. And Prabhupada said, stop payment on the check immediately. But it was too late. The man had already cashed the check, and he cleared out his office and he left town. And then they said to Prabhupada, oh, Prabhupada, it was Krishna's mercy. Prabhupada said, you're a fool. I told you what to do. It's not Krishna's mercy. It's your own stupidity. Prabhupada came back and Prabhupada tried to get some of that money back. And he was able to get $2,000 or $3,000 back from that $5,000. Prabhupada came back. In those days, we didn't have any money. And so that was a lot of money to lose. So yeah, the spiritual master tells you to do something, you do something different. Or if you don't follow the laws of material energy and something happens, you can't say it's karma. It's just that you don't know how to act. That's all. It's karma in one sense because you're getting your reactions for wrong behavior. You created a karma. It's called instant karma. There's karma that comes by way of time, but then there's karma that comes immediately. If you say something nasty to someone and they say something back to you in the same way, you just get a reaction. That's instant karma.
Thank you, Maharaj. Got a hands raised by Anubhav Mishra. Prabhuji, if you have a question, you can go ahead and ask.
Uh,
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. Actually, my question was regarding Vaishnava Aparad. So, regarding Vaishnava Aparad, Maharaj.
Kid, your voice is muffled and it's not coming through clear. Your name is up there twice. Which one are you? You're on Anubhav Mishra 1, and now you're in a different place on the same screen.
I'm from Pune, Maharaj. So my question was regarding Vaishnava Aparadh.
Okay, go
Hare
ahead.
Krishna. So Maharaj, currently I'm doing Kirtan Management Seva at ISKCON NVCC Pune. So it's under the instruction of my authority. Sometimes some devotees become unhappy with the discussion I make.
Subal Sham is giving trouble.
Sorry, Maharaj.
Subal Sham.
No, no, Maharaj. No, no one is giving me trouble. The question means when I take some means some when I take some when I give some instructions to devotees because I'm managing the kirtan now, so they become unhappy with my decision. So why? So this creates some tension that I worry it might be unknowingly committing Vaishnava Aparadh, I guess. In this situation, should I continue the service as instructed or I step back to avoid offense? That was my question, Maharaj.
If people are who's becoming unhappy? People in general or your authorities?
Means under the devotee, I'm serving as a kirtan management manager. So under devotee is under me. So the devotees means
The
small
devotees,
boys or
the
if
devotees
they are
who
not getting
the
if they are not
devotees,
getting
the devotees who are working under you are becoming unhappy,
yes, Maharaj.
or the devotees that are working that you're working under are becoming unhappy. Which ones? Your authorities or people you're working
So
with?
devotees who are doing under seva me means I allot them just seva services. They are not happy. Just now the Janmashtami was there. So some of the devotees were not happy with my management. Means my authorities are happy with my management, but the devotees the they come under me.
Well, you can
They
tell
are
me.
not.
You can. If your authorities are happy, you're okay. But if you want to see what is causing the difficulty with them, see if it's their problem or your problem. Could be their problem. Doesn't mean it's your problem. When it comes
So what should
when it comes to the authorities, you have to follow them. When it comes to people working under you, then you have to try to work together to make things happen. If they're not uh, working together, then it's either you need some correction or they need some correction. We don't know which one. I can't say.
so what action should we take, Maharaj? Should I take a step back or should I continue seva?
You should. Why would you want to give up your service? Because the people you can, try to adjust to see if you can make things better, or contact your authorities and say, "This is a situation. What should I do?"
Yes, Maharaj.
That's what authorities are for. So when they give you the service, and then they also give you the facility to carry it out. And then if something goes wrong, you explain to them this is the situation.
Okay. Yes. Thank
Yeah,
you so much, Maharaj.
yeah. You have that's something you have to work with, not something you just kind of like. It's not something floating in the air. It's right or wrong. You have to work with it. Try to make it better, or try to change them where they can understand what you're doing is actually beneficial.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
When I come to Pune, I'll see you. You can talk to me then. I hope you solve the problem by then, though.
Yes, yes, sure, Maharaj. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Hari. Okay, no more questions. Should we end here?
Yes, we can, Maharaj. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha samaveta bhakta vrinda ki jai Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai
Ki
Diwan Hai Srila Prabhupada ki jai
Jai.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you, devotees, for coming.
Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Guru
Thank you,
Maharaj.
Guru Maharaj.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
We'll see you all
Krishna.
tomorrow.
Thank
Good day.
Guru Maharaj.
Thank you,
Hare
Guru Maharaj.
Krishna. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.